Beta 1. Okay, let's do this. Okay, look at remove all drawings. And what do you guys think? You guys want to map this out together? Okay, let's do this. Can we still, just want to make sure everybody can still see the, sir, will you send the video to the guys who are in this call? Yeah, I just told everybody I didn't want to record it because in all fairness, like I wanted people to show up and like experience this live. So it's a whole different experience doing this live. But yes, you guys will receive the recording. It's going to be done through YouTube now, private YouTube. So I have all your emails. And yeah, everybody will be getting this. But I didn't want to say that because I want people to show up and I want people to actually experience this. It's a whole different animal doing this live. So okay, let's actually I'm going to shut off the music. It's kind of distracting, unfortunately, right this second. So let's talk about what's going on. Feel free to listen to the playlist. Like I said, it's posted here. Yeah, let's just let's do this in a very interactive way. So I always start on the 15. Okay, if you look left, you know, we should be able to go over to here, and ultimately somewhere in here we were reacting to supply in this region. Now can't really see too much in here, but I don't know if you remember yesterday when we were essentially reacting to this supply zone. This is where I took my cells from. Oh my God, people are still joining. This is exactly where I took my my cells from, or sorry, my buys into rather. So now what I want to do is just basically go like this, and we're going to map out 15-minute supply. Everybody in agreement with that? Cool. And why is this supply? Well, because we took out, you know, probably a level of demand in this region right here. Now, what it's looking like we're more than likely going to do, because we are in bullish order flow, is okay, we've put in a low, we've put in a high, we've pulled back. We may do something like this, create a demand, and we may also, you know, go like this, take out this demand level here, and then create supply that we can then sell into these regions. Okay. Waiting room. Okay. So, okay, let's start doing this. 15-minute. Oops. Demand. Okay, so I always like to mark out my two extremes that I'm playing within right now. And then we should obviously look at one that's going to be potentially higher. So I'll jump out to the 4-hour just to have a look at what's going on. Oops. But yeah, we're reacting to this. So probably up in this wick area, there's something. So let's go to the 1. Just trying to understand what's going on here, right? So next real area is going to be up in this region right here, right? So I can refine this down. Supply. Go down to the 15. We'll just go over to here. Yeah, so there's nothing really that matters right this second over in this region. So what I do is just kind of refine this down to this guy right here. Oops. Net. Okay, so at this point, I'm just going to zoom back out to the 4-hour just to be able to drag this over a little bit quicker. But ultimately, like that's the next supply region that really holds any kind of value to us, because like we would expect to go that high. Now there might be stuff over in this region over here, but we'll get to that when we get to it, right? Okay. Okay, so let's go back down to the 15. You draw your chart to test our knowledge. Yeah, sure. I mean, right now, I mean, very basic stuff, right? We're just talking about, okay, what's going on here. In terms of like very clear stuff that's happening, this is it. Like, I mean, I'm looking at this supply region, I'm looking at this demand region. In terms of the 15-minute, that's all there really is. So with that being said, let's jump down to the 5. Try to see what the hell is going on here. So right now, very quickly, fuck man, you guys gotta show up on time. It's so distracting. Got a supply region right here, right? So now what we would do is we could also see that there is a demand level here, right? And yeah, I mean, this is really like, this is where we had the boss right here, right? This is the low that created the high. Okay, so that's fine. And yeah, I mean, ultimately, like this is all pretty efficient down in this region right here. So let's just maybe pull this down. We could refine this down to this guy. Now we've got lots of liquidity sitting underneath here. So if we start selling off, chances are we'll sell pretty hard, right? Okay. Now let's go down to the 1 minute and just see what's happening here. So at this point, supply is technically in control of the market from around this region. We could probably refine this down to this. Now, I wouldn't necessarily be looking for supply trades here because we are still technically in demand, right? So right now we're creating relatively equal lows, right? Let's talk about what's going on here. We have not tapped into this demand level yet. So more than likely what we could potentially see here is right now if supply, if we break down like this and we tap into here, that creates this high basically creates a low, right? So if that high right here creates a low, now supply would be in control from this area. If we break above this now, then we could take a long position to run the high. Right? Because right now we have resting liquidity sitting just underneath here, which would give us catalyst to believe that we should sweep into people get on time here. Equal lows. Yeah, so right now it's just kind of a waiting game. We're between supply and demand, right? And that's perfect. That's exactly like this is gonna be a boring session because like really like it's only, we'll call it exciting. We're only really doing something for about 15 minutes of the session. Right now we're just waiting, right? So we're reacting to, well, this is not a demand zone. The demand zone that we're reacting from is this huge inside bar. We've swept underneath this and now we're failing to break above, right? Everybody understanding what I'm looking at here? What are you trying to ask? I'm not sure what the, like, what do you mean up here? Supply? Well, I guess my question for you then, if you can just clear your drawing, I got a question for you, Corey. Would you agree that this wick right here has been mitigated by this wick? And if that's the case, and we have a supply zone here, would you say that, you know, this inside bar has been partially mitigated by this next candle, right? So the only thing that has really no mitigation within it is this area right here. So it's just refining. We're not looking to, you know, take trades at this point. And the reason why is because we're still technically reacting to a demand level on the bottom. So now it's just a matter of, okay, we need to, if we break this demand level, okay, we now create supply that we can trade down into this demand level. Okay, if we break above this supply level from this demand, right? Now we have demand that we can target this high up here. Hopefully that makes sense. Fuck man, I got every animal in the house down here with me right now. Hey, 2 cats and a freaking dog. Hey, you want to say hi? You want to say hi? Yeah, you're crazy. This is my life. Hey, you? Yeah, I know. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, it's gonna be a lot of sitting around, guys. A lot of sitting around. If you have a question, you can raise your hand, and I'm okay with answering questions throughout this because really, you know, they're 1-minute candles. They take a little bit of time to form and stuff like that, and it's gonna be a pretty boring session. The blue line, I do not understand why it is not the lowest low just before. The blue line. This one right here. You can annotate as well, right? And well, so again, for the same reasons over here, I mean, here's the thing. If we're thinking demand is going to do something at this level, would you agree that there's liquidity sitting right underneath here? And this has already been partially mitigated by this, right? So this is the next demand level that we could see a potential reaction from. Okay, that's all. So now what I like to do too is I mark out all these different things that could possibly give me a reason to see price move in the direction that I'm hoping it will move. So you wouldn't place a sell or buy limit in the demand if it is partially mitigated? Absolutely not. How are you classing mitigated and unmitigated zones? Well, if there's any kind of mitigation, if there's any kind of tap into the zone, it's partially mitigated. So if you had to bet money on, if you were to take sells right now, let's say we were up in this region right here at this level, would you take it from here or would you take it from here where we've already been partially mitigated? That's like, you have to think in terms of, in order for price to produce some sort of a reaction that could break structure to put it in favor of your actual trade, it's a lot easier to do it when it's not mitigated because you know that there's resting orders sitting in it to be able to push in the direction that you're hoping it will go. Can you explain the demand zone you've marked? Can you explain the demand zone? So the demand zone I've marked is the one, this right here, pushed and broke structure and put us into supply. This is the only unmitigated zone that's left, right? This has already been mitigated by partially by this candle right here. So this is the first demand zone that's available for us to trade from, or we're going to see a reaction that breaks over to be able to sell down into this next one right here, because this is already mitigated by this. This is already mitigated by this. This is not structural, right? This is the origin of the move. Cool. How do you know which is the best POI? I mean, there's several different factors, man. There's all kinds of different ones. First and foremost, make sure it's unmitigated, right? Can you explain mitigate, please? Sorry, I'm French. Well, mitigation means that this is this is unmitigated right here. This is unmitigated up here because we haven't tapped in to get the orders from that area. This right here is mitigated by this right here, okay? If the current high does not create a lower low, could the high then be used as inducement to mitigate unmitigated supply and take a sell from? Potentially, yes. On the 1-minute supply zone, has it not been partially? Yes, very partially mitigated by a small wick. But here's the thing: right now, this is no longer of any kind of value to us, and the reason why is because now, if you look at this, now we've broken the low, so supply is now in control from here. So I would actually remove this. Give me a second. This is now going to get moved. Yes, it was partially mitigated, but this is the only supply region that when this price was just sitting like this right here, if we had to break above, this would now become demand. This is the only area that supply could take control of the market, in my opinion. So now this changes as the day changes, right? And as the chart kind of progresses. So right now, supply is in control from here. So when you're looking for a change of character from a demand level, this is the high right here that created this low. That swept liquidity, put us in demand. So look at, we're more than likely going to see a nice reaction here that we're going to be able to potentially trade. Okay. So on the flip side, if we break this, we create demand, and then that means that because we couldn't take out the low that created the high, that means that this high would be weak. So we could target just above this where the liquidity sits, or you can target unmitigated supply if you really wanted to. Would this, man, I'm not going through, I can't be going through, hold on here. Can I annotate on the screen? Yes, you can. 1 minute supply. So give me a second. Yeah, that's a good trade, Mike. There's nothing wrong with that. That's great because this is the high that created the low. Now the problem is yeah, we just to say didn't tap in. So you could have easily taken that trade, 50% mitigation, whatever you wanted to, or do the wick mitigation right here, and then sell into the demand zone, and then wait for a chalk or wait for a rollover to be able to get into your next trade. Nothing wrong with that. Can you explain why you choose that as supply? Well, that's where supply is. That's like, it's not about choosing. I mean, supply took control of the market here because how do we know it's supply? Because it broke structure, right? We've broken the demand level and we've put ourselves into demand right now, right? So in order for us to trade bullish or bearish, buy or sell rather, this is the level that needs to hold or break. If we break above, we have demand. If we break below, we now have supply. That's it. Does M15 supply not outweigh that unmitigated 1 minute demand? Well, here's the thing. I trade in the short term, right? Like you got to remember, like the strategy that I use is very much a session strategy. So does this outweigh? Yes, but this could also on a higher time frame. Let's go to the 15. You know what this could be? This could be a supply to demand flip that turns into something more higher time frame, which if you look, we have unmitigated supply levels here. We're in bullish order flow right now, right? We've taken out the high that created the low. So where are we going to go? The next area is up here, right? Piece together the whole narrative, right? And just play into it. Right now, we're playing into a pullback potentially that may come down. And as long as we don't break this demand level right here, which is right at the extreme, and this is the, I guess, the decisional area. If we go like this and start to roll over and we break this level of structure, well, then very, very quickly we can say that the only place demand can really kick in is here. But really, if we failed to break the high from this demand on the 15-minute, we failed to break this high, that means that this low is weak. More than likely, we're going to travel down into the next demand level down here to potentially find our feet. I meant the supply that you had marked previously. Okay, let's go like this. So what are you asking about the supply? Like this was the level that I had marked out. Yes, it was partially mitigated right here, but ultimately this is the only place that supply took out this demand level down here, right? Cool. How's everybody's morning anyways? What time, like where are you guys all from? Shoot a post in the chat. Would love to know where everybody's from. Toronto, sick. Sweden, Germany, Norway, Australia, Spain, UK, India, Ohio, France, UK, Germany, Montreal. What's up, Francis? Nighttime in Australia. My aunt actually lives in Melbourne, so it's always a conflicting schedule to be able to talk to her on the phone and stuff. So Germany, Portugal, New Delhi. Okay, cool. East Coast US, Oregon, Seattle, Charlotte. You're in Ottawa. Ranishka, I live in Ottawa, bro. Neighbor, Moncton, awesome. Niagara, New York, holy shit, man. Crazy. People from all over the world. Who'd have thought, eh? Some small town hero named Tyson. Gonna bring all these people together looking at trades. Amazing. Do you daily trade on a funder or a personal account? Personal account. I have my my MT4 pulled up on my second screen right now. Up until about a week ago, you're not going to believe this, but I only traded on my phone. And the reason why is I've always had Mac, and about 4 years ago, it wasn't really available to use a Mac OS other than with running Parallels and all this different stuff. And I had like a MacBook Air, and it wasn't fast enough. And anyways, long story short, I just got on to using the terminal online. I've used it in the past a little bit here and there, played around with it, but now I got Magic Keys on screen as well, and it's just been an absolute game changer. No, Parallels doesn't lag for me whatsoever. I also have the new what do you call it, MacBook M1. So it's a pretty snappy, pretty quick processor, and it has absolutely no problem running Windows, Mac OS at the same time. Yeah, I see it, Vic. I'm waiting. Okay, here we go. Who's ready? Anybody know what to do right now? 100%. Now, you could potentially refine to the wick if you wanted to. Now, it's totally up to you. But yeah, in this area, it looks like a pretty good spot to consider taking trades from. Anybody else interested? We got equal lows. This thing might just take off at this point though, because we got loads of liquidity underneath here. So don't panic. If here's the number one thing. If we start really taking off from here, don't panic in, man. It's gonna create a pullback. If you wait 15 minutes or so, it's not meant to be exciting. Just take your time. I'm going to be looking at getting into a potential trade in this region right here. Oops. It's not financial advice. If you want to do it, do it. This is not a signal service. This is to be able to show you guys, how all of this stuff really works, right? Well, I do think there's potential liquidity here. Now, ultimately, you got to remember. Give me a second. I'm going to clear these drawings. Who keeps doing these drawings here and not removing them? There we go. Thanks. Okay, so at this point, 1 to 8. Is there liquidity above? Of course there is. Is there liquidity above this? Of course there is. Is there there's liquidity everywhere. What you need to ask yourself is, okay, if demand failed, where did it fail from? Mark it out. What caused demand to fail? Because this didn't cause demand to fail. It created a pullback at demand, which then failed from here. So if you were a betting man and you said, I've got $500 to my name and I have to make a bet right now, would you make it here or would you make it here? I mean, do you guys? I mean, I'm just, the whole purpose of this is to be able to just understand the process behind how I think. It doesn't mean I'm going to get this right. It just means that logically, the only place that really makes sense for me is that demand failed. Okay, basically, when we tap into demand, we've produced a reaction that failed to break supply, right? Okay, if we failed to break supply and then we broke demand and we broke it from here, pretty simple. Where's your order, right? So do what you guys want. I don't really care. This is what I'm doing. Keeping this right here. How do I like Magic Keys? It is honestly the biggest game changer in my trading, to be honest with you. It is I feel like I've been living under a rock, to be honest with you. It's insane how good it is. Not even just for executing, but for management. It's a click of a button to move to break even. You can automatically set your parameters for trailing stop. Like there's so many different functions. It's really such a great tool. And I would suggest getting the on-screen one, not even get the hard one. And the reason why is because you still have to click and drag your parameters when you place your stop loss and all that stuff pending orders. You can click and drag everything. So if you're doing that on the screen already, instead of using a like a hardware version of it, why not do everything on screen? And it's cheaper. It's like 29 bucks. It's not financial crisis. It's the easy SD flip. Yeah, I mean, shit, man. This is like, to me, this is it's a no-brainer trade. I mean, demand turned into supply. Where did it break supply, or where did it break demand from? Well, yeah, it's sitting right there, right? Oh my God, here we go. I mean, and here's the thing, you take an L and we tap into this supply and we start to break down like this, just take this one. Who cares? I'm risking 0.5% per trade now. Pro trend, counter trend, doesn't matter. So whatever, it is what it is. See what happens. Bro, can you do more sessions like this? This is really helpful. Yeah, I'm going to be doing them. I'm going to be announcing them the night before, whenever I decide to do them. First come, first serve, 100 spots. I think we sold out. So yeah, man, like that, I will definitely be doing them. It's just going to be sporadic and random. Really been thinking about grabbing one. 100%, man. I could not recommend it more. For $30, it's like, yeah, it's the only way to go. What do you do if price does not react to the level and just blast straight through? Well, for anybody who's been a part of this long enough, if we break right through right like this and I was wrong on this trade, what does that create? Bingo. Fuck, man. How sick is this? That everybody's on the same page now. This is demand. That's going to create, if we smoke through this for whatever reason, there's enough resting liquidity, which, I mean, we're reacting to higher time frame supply. We've broken tons of levels of demand, right? What are we expecting? We're expecting bearish order flow. We're expecting that basically we're going to revisit the extreme, right? We're probably going to break through it, to be honest. But if we play conservatively and we look at this, liquidity, equal lows. Like, we could probably hold this down into this region down in here. Once we get to, if we get tagged in here, what we'll do is we'll start to manage, and we might leave this open a little bit longer to target this stuff and show you how to trail stops and stuff like that. Will you be doing a limit order? My limit is already placed, so. Yeah, the wick is already partially mitigated. I do understand what that poses, but we also have to remember that we will likely just fill inefficiency at this level, tap into this barely, and probably roll over because there's going to be enough resting orders in the inefficiency in itself. That's how I'm viewing this. Your thought process is solid. Thank you. I mean, this is just what I do, man. Like, it's nothing fancy. Yeah, we might run right away from here. It's possible. And then if we break the low right now, what happens next? Bingo. Coolio. Awesome. Don't make trading more complicated than it needs to be. It's not a complicated thing. You're not going to be right every time, okay? And that's totally okay. So let's just see what happens. Now, yeah, just let it play out. And here's the thing, if you're worried, let's say you're worried about maybe this becoming inducement, whatever it might be, and you don't want to take the limit here, wait for a change of character, right? Go on the 15-second or whatever time frame you want. And maybe this isn't your entry criteria, and that's fine. If we blow right through this like this, big deal. It is what it is. If you're worried about those losses, these 0.5% or 1% losses, you're risking too much. Go down to 0.25%. You know what I mean? Go to the point where you're not going to be worried about what potentially could be lost. You worried about news in a few minutes? No, not at all. It's low impact. Tap in. And now we wait. Silence, absolute silence. Cool. I mean, if you're stressed right now, here's how simple it is. Okay, you just want to see how this works out. Put your stop at break even. You don't have to, but ultimately we got supply now that's in this wick, right? How does Magic Keys work? Oh, let's see. See, we're reacting to a demand in this wick. So at this point, if you're nervous, break even, right? Reevaluate what happens, right? But you got to remember, there's going to be demand in here, right? So what are we doing right now? We're depleting the resting orders that lay in this demand level. So could easily run the high. If you want to, like I said, if you want to go break even, it's never a bad option to protect capital. Okay. I risk 0.5%. Let's go to the 5-minute and just see what. Yeah, this may have been the better block to kind of look at in hindsight, but it is what it is. But all kinds of eyes on me, man. Maybe made a small mistake here. I'll probably, to be honest with you, I'll probably widen my stop. Yeah. I think it was just above here, 1.5. So. Yeah, so this is likely getting ran for inducement, and yeah, because we're not really reacting to any sort of demand over here. So this might get ran for that inducement and then roll over like this. So there we go. Hello, Dark. That's my old friend. You win some, you lose some, no biggie. Yeah, so I barely didn't get stopped out on my order. Pro trend long, would you use 1% counter trend? Pro trend. So what I used to do is pro trend 1%, and then counter trend I would do excuse me, 0.5%, but now I just 0.5% for everything. So we broke the demand wick. So at this point, stops should be like, there's really nothing in here. Stop losses should be at break even. Okay. Well, demand came in the market right here, right? This wick created a break of this high, created a sweep above this into an order block. So demand has been broken. We've already partially mitigated this demand right here. So I'm expecting to see potential lower price here. Now we're coming up to mitigate this wick. So I'm at break even, guys. I didn't quite get taken out of this. I had a 1.5 pip stop on MT4. We are now tapping into here, right? So oh, excuse me. Some music. Yeah, I'm gonna go get some coffee in a sec. I just want to watch what happens here. I do have a coffee on the go, but it's long gone. Why you use 0.5 today because of the news? No, so from now on, what I've been doing is excuse me, is only risking 0.5. Reason being is I want to be going for funding, and just so it doesn't psychologically impact me too much, I'd like to be using a 0.5%. I might even use 0.25% when I do the challenge, to be honest. So I'm just trying to get used to using that. How fun is gone, and now the fun is, yeah, well, I mean, now it's just management, right? At this point, did anybody take this trade? Did you get stopped out? Yes or no? Like, awesome. Cool. Well, hopefully you guys are at break even now. Reason being is like ultimately supply is in control from here. So if we are at break even and we tap your break even, it means that there's a change of character happening right here, which then we can now target unmitigated supply levels wherever they are, right? Just to, yeah, be malleable, be adaptable to what's going on in the market. Stopped out at break even. Cool. It's all good. Got stopped. So one of the things too that I typically, again, there are exceptions to these rules, but more often than not, 1.5 pip stop is kind of like my minimum that I usually like to have. There are times where I will use a little bit more aggressive stop, but usually it's around a 1.5, 1.4 kind of thing. So, and then of course like I add all of my spreads on top of what my stop loss is. Because spreads get activated on the buy side of everything, right? Still in, how much pips you risk? Let's see, price continues to sell off and create more supply zones. Would you take re-entries along the way? Yeah, I mean, there's no reason not to, right? So we're at do or die right now. This is supply. You know, if we start breaking above that and then take out the high, well, very simply put, we're going to be looking for some potential buys, or looking to play the deeper pullback, waiting for another level to get met. So let's go to 5, see what's going on. So we do have to also consider, okay, we've got equal lows here, we've got equal lows here. You know, this is technically unmitigated right in this level. Oh, there we go. We're rolling over. Woohoo! Success. My strategy works. I think none of us have better entry than yours. Have you put the same break even? So like, it's no surprise we're going to melt off from here because of all the liquidity, right? So hopefully this is helpful. I mean, shit, I'm not a fraud, guys. I'm just a guy that's doing this every day. Cool. So ultimately, scale in opportunities, you know, demand turned into supply here. So well, I feel like living on the wild side. I don't know about you guys, but more than likely we're going to hit our demand level first. But you could take a scale in right here, right? Where have you been all my Forex career? Oh man, the way you are patient is impeccable. Honestly, dude, you know what? Here's the bottom line with being patient is patience is bred by experience. Understanding that if it doesn't work out for whatever reason, dude, just adapt to what's going on. You know, the market's not out to get you. It's just collecting orders. It's just literally doing its thing, collecting orders, right? It's got nothing else to do but do that. So if your orders are in line with what's going on, fuck, you're going to be very, very successful. So break even on this trade. Are you guys taking the scale in? You don't have to, but totally up to you whether or not you want to. Does everybody understand why this would be a good scale in? Yes or no? We haven't tapped demand, right? So technically, like, we would have no reason for supply to get broken. You could also now manage your position just above this supply region if you wanted to be a little bit more aggressive, cover your commissions, cover your spreads, whatever. Reason being is if we break above this supply region, that means that there's a change of character happening, and then we can target all of this for liquidity, right? Adapt, man. Do I scale in now? Well, I haven't placed my order yet. I just want to confirm that there's nothing that I missed over here. Yeah, this is all efficient in here. I'm going to put scale in. I'm going to put one because I want you guys to see how it works. If it doesn't work out, doesn't really matter. So 1.4, we'll do like a 1.5 pip stop. Go like this. And we're going to target into here. So 1 to 5 meets my criteria. We'll go something like that. You closed at 5R. Cool. Awesome. Close for 6R. Perfect. Do your thing, guys. It's amazing. Let's go to the 5-minute. Always good to see what's going on here. You can see the inside bar that needs to be mitigated here, right? So if we were to put this, let me just get rid of this order in a second. If we were to map out this inside bar, okay? So we got supply sitting here, okay? If we now go down to the 1 minute, what do we do on the 1 minute? We want to refine, right? So at this point, this has already been mitigated, right? We can see the mitigation here. This has already been mitigated by the candle beside it, which wicked through it. So the only place that supply could really take control of the market from, in theory, would have to be at this level, right? So that's how we got to this. Finally found a 100% success rate. It's not 100% successful. It's but very, very, very often it is successful. Okay, so let's go to this. Full margin on the trade. Oh, I'm sure there's somebody in here that's just biting their fingernails watching these upticks right now. And that's, yeah, it's jokes, but hey, it is what it is. Oh, anybody scared right now? Lambo lots, let's go. And we are very close. Come on, tap us in. Tap us in and run like a little bitch. Getting a pullback. Filling inefficiency is what we're doing, right? You got to remember what inefficiency is this push down right here. There's resting orders that never got filled in these areas because price went through so quickly, right? So it's normal to see pullbacks, potentially create liquidity on a lower time frame, sweep in, and then break structure, create new supply, right? Embrace the retrace. Yeah, start a movement. I like it. So if there's a lesson to be learned over here, okay, from this trade at least, what we should have actually looked at, and I forgot to do it because I'm also a human being, but what we should have done is look between this area and looked at the 5 minute, right? To get a little bit more clarity as to which one would make more sense to be taking in terms of what the 5 minute intention is. Hopefully that makes sense for everybody. But yeah, ended up working out, which is good. Could have been a really silly mistake, but in all fairness, if I was trading this live without an entire audience, I would have probably realized that mistake, and I would have allowed myself to have probably a 2.5 pip stop just to cover this so that I didn't take an unnecessary loss. That's the honest to God truth. I probably would have moved that stop loss, but with the intention that I knew what was going on within the market. Okay. Luckily, I didn't get stopped out, but was down 6% on my challenge before this. Thanks to you, and now I'm break even. Oh, that's cool. I get nervous with the retracements. Is that because of the inefficiency in the 5 minute candle? Let me just jump over and have a look at it. Yeah, exactly. So you could kind of see the retracement here. Like what actually caused the break of structure was technically the inside bar, right? This is kind of like a pause in the market. On the lower time frame, it looks like this is what caused it, but really what fueled the move was from down here, right? So not a big deal. Just a matter of making decisions, and sometimes they pay, sometimes they don't. We were lucky that it didn't get stopped out. A little bit of resting liquidity above the equal highs, right? Swept. How do you get the inside bar? So go over to FX indicators, type in inside bar V2. Here, I'll leave that up. Indicators. And you can check that out, inside bar V2. And then when it comes up, it'll come up here, go to settings, and you can set the color of the inside bar. We're reacting to the 30-minute block. Does this still make sense to place a limit supply? The 30-minute block. Let's go and have a look. 5 minute. I don't use the 30. So personally, the only thing I'm really concerned with is this. Oh, I see. Yeah, it's possible. That's possible. Here's the thing, like this high right here, this supply zone right here, okay, should have been broken from this demand. We failed to break the high from the low, and we started pulling back. So my narrative is that more than likely we're going to run this as liquidity because we've already broken a substantial layer of structure. So what do we know about structure is once we break above it, more than likely we come back to some sort of origin. So everything is break even right now anyways. In that case, your decision on whether or not you'd like to take this trade. But ultimately, you got to remember, supply is going to produce a reaction here. Okay, no matter what, it's going to deplete. It's not just going to roll through this. We've just broken substantial levels of structure as well as demand in here. So what I'm looking at in terms of the chart that we're on is, okay, we're going to tap in. If you don't feel comfortable, now we've got demand once we break the high. So you could wait for this to break again and then take this as a supply trade. we are reacting to 30-minute block, and the price was compressing going from that demand. And Diogo, is it? I don't know if I'm saying that right, but here's the funny part. Okay, I could also be wrong, and that's like, I don't need to be right all the time. I'm using the timeframes that I use to understand what I need to understand. Supply broke structure from up here. This has already been partially mitigated. The only area that's not been mitigated that demand turned into supply is here. That's how I see it in terms of the timeframes that I use. So now we have a demand level. So if we break demand, more than likely, we'll achieve our target, right? It's creating inducement to enter to the Overbrock now, isn't it? What do you mean? Did you get tagged into the second trade? Not quite. Okay, I'm executed now. I hope you guys are not just taking these trades because I'm taking them. You know, if this aligns with how you view the market, fantastic. If not, then you shouldn't be taking them. But the higher time frame might play out here, and that's just the way she goes. So my stop loss is right here with this trade as well. So I'm taking out for both. So I'm taking out probably pretty well at break even for both these trades, because this one was moved to just above here. And yeah, so I took a -1 on this guy, and I probably took a +1 on this one. So I'm at break even right now. Okay, so now guess what? We took out supply. So what does that mean? Right? So it's perfect. It's all good. It is what it is. Can't cry over spilled milk here. Okay, so now we have this supply that we'll be probably reacting from. Now, let me just go to the 5 and see what's happening here. So we've come up and we tapped in to mitigate this block right here, right? So yeah, this is where things get a little bit tricky. Because we do have some unmitigated level on the 5-minute, but ultimately we've broken this supply level right here. So we could potentially take a demand trade here, or we could just kind of wait to see how this plays out and maybe wait for something a little bit more substantial like a break of structure. But up to you guys. So right now I'm sitting on my hands. I'm just trying to evaluate what's going on. There's going to be ample opportunity to then take something like this. And if there isn't, then we just sit on our hands. It's not a big deal. So right now I'm just going to wait and see what happens around this demand level right here. It mitigates the wick of the doji. That's the real flip, no. Can you draw it out? Yeah, that's like that's the whole thing is like I'm worried a little bit about that. And like I said, if you look at the 5-minute, we've mitigated this rate in this region, right? So Now it's just a matter of sitting on your hands. Let price show you what it wants to do, right? Because, you know, there's no rush. So I'm just going to go up and make another coffee. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. Just react. You are a goat on this. Cool. I'll be right back, guys. So yeah, just watch the charts, see what's going on, make some decisions. I would suggest grabbing some water, coffee, whatever you guys want. In between coffee, I have to come down and check. See what's going on. 5 minutes. So let's go to the 15. Yeah, so that's what it looks like is going on. Okay. Reacted from 1 hour order block. Yeah, that's what's going on. Reacting to the 1 hour. We've just got it refined down to like a 5, right? So, and like, dude, that's how I work. That's how I operate. Works a lot more of the time than it doesn't. You know, we could have kept this on the 15-minute block, which was the extreme that we had talked about. But really, we wouldn't have even got tapped in, right? So it is what it is. Now, guess what? Time to start looking for demand trades. So you're going to ask yourself, you know, what caused, so let's go to supply, or so let's go to 5 and understand that this reacted here. Okay. And now, what are we looking for? Well, we probably look for a demand trade in this region right here. Now, this is where pro trend and counter trend kind of get a little bit fucky. At this point, we're kind of, you know, reacting. Let's go to the 15. Okay, so at this point, you got to remember that this demand level right here, okay, this entire wicked out region, the only job this had was to take out this high, right? And because we are pulling back like this, you got to be mindful that we may be, we've broken levels of structure on the way down. We've broken key demand levels that should have essentially brought us up into the break zone of the supply. So just be mindful of what could potentially happen. You know, don't go getting too crazy with longs. You got to remember that there's supply levels in this area right here that we could easily come down, and or supply levels like this that we could tap into and then pull back, and then we'll wait for a trade like this. Just be patient. Wait for your criteria. Don't rush something that doesn't need to be rushed. All kinds of time in the session to be able to adapt to what's going on. So there's that supply level, right? Just gonna get rid of this for now. I'll put everything back on later. So we got equal highs. We've now run the equal highs. So if we react to this supply, pull back, which is probably what we're gonna do, and then we break it, that's our trade, right? On the flip side, if we, break this level of demand that's sitting here, you know what I mean? Like then we could potentially look for supply trades to fulfill this block. This M15 wick unmitigated looks good. Yeah, just above here somewhere, I think, is where it was, but that demand is mitigated. This demand right here is not mitigated. It's mitigated on the higher time frame, but it's not mitigated on the lower time frame. There's still resting orders here. That's the whole idea of order blocks. That's the whole idea of why we refine, right? Oh, that one. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, you're right. So this wick, let's go like this, and maybe something in like this wick potentially. So if we see like a breakdown like this, potentially we could take a short down into here. It's ultimately we've broken a few levels at this point. We may be trying to put in a new high. We failed to technically break the low from this level of supply. So, and now we're reacting, breaking shit to the upside. So I think at this point, longs might be in order. We just didn't quite hit our take profit down here, and it is what it is. So if we break above nice and cleanly and we push through, I would be looking at something in like this wick area. This. You got to remember this entire area is supply. So what I'm going to do actually is this is the area like that, supply. And, does that make more sense now? Supply has one job, right? It's to take out a demand level. So if we don't take out a demand level and we push through, you got to ask yourself what caused the break of that supply, right? And if what caused it is this wick, then we can take an order from here, and more than likely we can target the high, because that means that this high failed to take out this low, or sorry, the high failed to take out the low. So that means that this low is strong and this high would be weak, right? Excuse me. What else we got going on here? Yeah, supply. Let's see where demand is. Demand is technically down in this region. Okay, now we've got a demand wick. Here I am talking to myself again, as I do. So at this point, if we break this demand level while we're still in the 5-minute supply zone, we break this, come down into here, right? Hey, I'm confused. Did it just start now? Nope, we've been here for an hour, man. Five-minute supply above this one. Yeah, I got this guy as well. But you want to, so you can mark this 5-minute supply, but you now have to go onto the 1 minute and see if there's anything in here that's unmitigated. I mean, really, like this is all efficient, right? So this is kind of like a fake POI in a way. You know, we kind of have,
Yes.
we have this guy right here, but this is also
yes.
clicked into. So
Hello, Jai.
yeah.
Hello, charging pati.
What? Don't cue your mic unless I ask you to do it, please. It's the same rules for everybody. Fuck. Jesus Murphy, man. Okay, here we go. So what's the move? What's the move here? Well, right now we've had a major break of structure. Where do we break structure from? Well, technically we broke structure on the higher time frame, probably from down here. You know, this becomes a little bit more clear. It's something in this zone right here. So I think at this point, I'm waiting to see a pullback because we've now broken 2 levels of supply. What do we know after we've broken major supply levels? More than likely, we're going to pull back into POIs. We will have to break bits of demand to get down there, but this is ultimately a change of character at this point. So what do we know about change of characters? Well, usually we want to see that pullback to then get into a trade to the upside. So at this point, I'm kind of waiting. I'm not looking for these little dinky ass. Well, I mean, you could. But then you risk the chance of, okay, we've broken supply or supply from down here, right? Where do we break this original supply from? That's been like, this hasn't been mitigated, right? So I think the logical area to look for trades is down in this region at this point, because, you know, we'll probably see some sort of a pullback. When it's a 5-minute break of supply and demand, you consider that as a charge, or even on the 1 minute? Well, I mean, change of characters happen on all time frames, right? It's just about having expectations of where you're expecting price to go to be able to take profits, right? So if we've broken 5-minute supply and we've broken 1 minute supply, more than likely we're going to come back to the extreme of the 5-minute, right? Which is in and around this region that's not been mitigated yet. We have resting orders sitting down here. So now we've tapped in, we've potentially mitigated something in this area right here. Let's go to the 15 and see what we're looking at. So we broke demand, right? On the 15, we're tapped into supply on this wick, right? So, you know, if you wanted to have a POI here, there's no reason you can't trade the change of character if it's available right here. Go like that. So 15-minute POI. So this has all been mitigated, so I can get rid of this stuff. All right, get rid of this, get rid of this. Let's clean these charts up a bit, and then go down the 1 minute here. So let's go like that. Can now peel this guy over to here. Okay. So now we have a 15-minute POI. You know, obviously there's nothing that's unmitigated within this area. Now, if we see a change of character that happens from this area though, then very quick we could say that, okay, well now we could take a supply trade, come down to the original POI on the 1 minute. Because the whole idea of my strategy is I don't want to wait for the POI. I want to be able to get into a trade to get to here, to then take this to the upside if we show a change of character again, to run the equal highs. Or on the flip side of things, oh shit, like this. On the flip side of things is, oh my God, come on. If we go like this, map this guy, put this as demand. Okay. And we come down into here and we fail to break supply levels and roll over, well, that means that more than likely we can take this and then tap into our original demand. when it's a Only trade with overall trend. No, I trade pro trend, counter trend. I trade what's available to trade, provided that my risk management is available. Do you trade here? What would you be trading here? I guess is the question. Ryan, if you want to explain what you would trade, I'm happy to listen. Well, let's think about this. Okay, supply was here. I mean, ultimately, I think I would want to see a potential sweep, creating demand that could fail is the ideal setup to target this. But if we just came down like this, I think the demand I would really want to see fail would be probably this guy right here. This is just kind of like a pause in the market, right? It's not really like it, I mean, it's controversial because there's times where I would consider this. I think because I have a big audience, I don't want to be under pressure of taking unnecessary losses. So at this point, I think I would just wait to kind of see what the market is telling me. Like ultimately, you know, supply, there was supply sitting in here, you know, this is what broke it. So I think that's what I'm waiting for. If we sweep above, break down, demand breaks from here, supply is here. On the flip side of things, if we push right through this entire 15-minute POI, demand is created here to then take the price higher. Good options for everything now. That's what I'm at. Give me a second, guys. I gotta go to the washroom really quick. Yeah, well, that's unmitigated, right? That would be our target more. Oh, give me a second here. Let's look at the 5-minute. Yeah, so I mean, ultimately, the other thing that needs to be remembered is you're looking at, I don't know what that means. I don't know what's going on here. Ryan, what are you pointing at? I'm not quite understanding. But in terms of this guy up here, ultimately, you know, we got relatively equal highs. You know, if price is telling us that it does not want to break down this level right here, potentially we could be running the high, showing that this is a strong low. So you would probably have to consider this guy right here. Yeah. It's a tough call, really. I mean, you got to basically play out whether or not you think a higher time frame is going to be in control, creating a new high, or if we're just going to have a short-term target in and around this region, right? So it's choices. That's all it really boils down to. Make your choices. Do you want to let higher time frame order flow prevail? Up to you. Right now, I'm sitting on my hands. I'm waiting for, there's nothing really available. If we break like this and create a demand, for sure, I'll take that. Yeah, I'm just waiting for something to become available that I can even talk about. It's tough doing this live because if there's nothing for me to trade, I just don't trade it. That's where I'm at right now. It's like there's really nothing available for me. How many live sessions will there be in the masterclass? Can you mark the demand you're watching for a reaction? Well, right now, I mean, it's going to be this one right here, this wick, right? But ultimately with the equal highs, I'm expecting a sweep and then a break, which would create a new demand level. So right now, this would need to break for me. Trade what you see, not what you want to see. Exactly. Which demand? I mean, there. Can you mark the demand you're waiting for? The reaction. The worst thing is to force trades that don't make sense. Patience is key. Exactly. You know, I'm break even on the day right now. I think I'm locked in at maybe half an hour. But like, yeah, man, it's just wait. Just sit here and wait. Don't force something that's not there right now. There's nothing of. There's people that'll look at this that maybe have a trade right now. Personally, I don't, because this is the original supply. I don't know if you remember this at the beginning of the session. This is the original supply that I was looking to tap into to then break down. This level right here. So yes, we got resting liquidity sitting above. We could easily sweep, break down, and then look for this to kind of run this, right? I've been saying I was going to go to the washroom for like 15 minutes, but hard to get away from the screen. Time are we? Yeah, it's still early. It's 9:17. We still got like an hour and 45 minutes of the session left. What else we got for questions? How many live sessions will there be in the masterclass? So I'm planning on doing, excuse me, I'm planning on doing at least one. It'll be after the 6 weeks is done. That way you've kind of acquired the skill set necessary to trade the strategy that I'm essentially teaching you. And then from there, then you can kind of do exactly what we're doing right now. Is I'll have it with 30 people or whatever it is that are all in the masterclass, and we'll just talk through trades together. Cue mics. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be really cool to just kind of talk things out, be able to understand what the market's trying to tell you, and try to get past with your funding. Very rarely trading gurus do live sessions. Hats off, man. Takes courage. Very easy to show after trade markups. I'm not here to blow smoke up anybody's ass. I mean, I take losing trades. I don't take them very often. And the reason why is because my risk management is very, very impeccable. If I'm going to toot my own horn, it will definitely be on the risk management side of things. And I always trade things that I typically know will produce reactions. Now, again, I made a mistake down here by taking the scale in. I should have looked at the 15-minute and I would have realized how close we were to this POI, and I wouldn't have taken that scale in. So that's a mistake. Like, this is an actual mistake. I've already realized what that mistake is. I'm testing it right now. I can back test this again today and just understand what oh my God, what went wrong. And you just learn from it, right? So look at, now it looks like we're going to run this high. What is your risk management? In terms of what exactly? Look at, now this might be the sweep. If we break this demand level, guess what? Here we go. My risk management is how much you, risk per trade, 0.5%. I was doing 1% pro trend and then 0.5% counter trend, but now I'm just doing 0.5% for everything because I'm planning on doing an FTMO funding challenge for 200K. I just want to get used to using 0.5%. I don't want to have too many different variables up until my challenge. So just trying to get used to using the same parameters. Sweep. All right, so if we get the break of structure, okay, I'm really sorry, but I gotta go for a pee, guys. Be right back. All right. Building liquidity both sides, right? So we're still in the supply zone, I guess a 15-minute supply zone. So, you know, you could argue that the only supply that was available to break was in this, and then you could, you know, potentially take this as a buy. Now, the problem with taking this as a buy is, does somebody want to draw it in, or shall I? You know, liquidity sitting right here, right? And in all fairness, what do we know about, you know, what typically happens when there's liquidity built? We've broken bits of structure, we've broken extreme demands. More than likely, we are going to purge liquidity to then be able to go back up to the upside if that's what we want to do. So right now I'm waiting. It's a waiting game. It is what it is. I wish there was more winning trades to be able to show you guys, but I think it's more valuable to show you losing setups and why they lost, so that you can see that, hey, it is part of the game. My name's Tyson. Okay, so we can get rid of this. We can get rid of this. Right now we are reacting to unmitigated supply. We've now got demand in the market at this level right here. Call it this wick. This is really, get rid of this. Ultimately, the two levels we're looking at are here and here. We can argue that this is, we can argue that this demand wick. Ultimately, we need to see two things, one of two things happen. We need to see a break above or a breakdown. Okay, there's no trade up until that point. That fits my criteria. So yeah, this is what it is. So right now, if you look, we've broken all this structure, right? We've now come to the premium area of the leg. For those of you guys who trade discount and premium, you know, we could look like this. We have tapped into the block. Are we expecting to make a high? Potentially, or we could just be tapping into supply to then roll over here, right? We're kind of caught between both. So we couldn't break the high before from this level right here. So we're caught between a rock and a hard place, unfortunately, with this price action. But typically what's going to happen is we're going to see a rollover at some point to be able to mitigate this demand down here, which is ultimately the demand that we should be concerned with. Doesn't mean it'll happen, but yeah, we got tons of resting liquidity sitting right here to be able to come back in and, you know, mitigate down here. You wait for change of character. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I'm looking for a change of character here. Like if I was to get into sells, yeah, it really just boils down to, you know, taking out demand here. Take out demand to produce supply so that we can then sell. You take partials here, you can take your whole profit. I'm a big believer in taking all of the profit off the table. Reason being is, okay, we break demand, we get into our supply trade, we basically get out of our position around here. What that allows us to do is if we go like this and then roll over, now we have supply to take trades and continue that same trend. Or if we see a change of character, we're not worried about not taking profits off the table and getting taken out at break even. Now you can just reevaluate and head back up to mitigate supply up here. In my opinion, again, that's everything is subjective, right? So question, how do you guys like this this stream, like doing it live like this? Obviously there's no explicit signals being given, but curious, like genuinely curious about how you enjoy this as opposed to, let's say, the Sunday sessions. Cool. Okay, I mean, this is what I need. I need to understand what people want, right? And like right now, I'm going to be completely transparent. In the next few weeks with the master class and stuff like that, it's going to be hectic. It's going to be busy for me balancing that. So don't expect to see a whole lot of these sessions. Reason being is I just want to be able to do what's fair for all of these guys and really just try to cater to what it is they're trying to learn. And I will be doing them. They will be sporadic though. They will not have big notice. It'll be like I will post it at night. It'll be for the next day. It's going to depend on news. It's going to depend on a few other things as well. Typically, my favorite days to trade are Tuesdays and Thursdays. For whatever reason, that's like a psychological barrier in my head. I like those 2 days a lot. So it'll more often than not always be one of those two. Live is better. Yeah, I mean, Sunday sessions are nice. I think what I'm going to do moving forward is I'll probably do, 2 back testing sessions per month later on, of course, after master classes are done. And then I'll probably do 2 live trading sessions per month, which will be a little bit more expensive, but no one gets to learn the waiting game like this. It actually shows us that we don't need to be in the market. It's wait and pounce. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm not trying to be different than anybody else, but I'm just trying to like also show you what trading is. I mean, like it's not exciting. It's really quite boring, to be honest with you. It's a lot of waiting. It's a lot of just sitting here, reading what price is telling you, what levels need to break in order to validate trades, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, man, it is what it is. It's not a really glorified profession, to be honest. It's wait for your criteria. If your criteria doesn't get met, well, so be it. Fuck right off. Okay, so because we're technically an unmitigated supply, let's talk about this. Ultimately, I cannot take a demand trade while we're in a extreme supply area, right? So if we produce a reaction, we pull through like this, that creates demand. Well, then I can take that, probably take a 1 to 5 or something like that, target just above here. Now, technically, supply, the next real 15-minute supply is up in this region. But we could easily see, some sharp pullbacks. So it's just about having realistic expectations. Typically, we want to break above, see the pullback before getting into some sort of a POI, whatever. But we're going to take shorts all the way down, wait for this to kind of manifest, and then we can swing for the highs and stuff like that, right? Different strokes for different times, right? And right now, ultimately, just got to be realistic about what we're expecting the market to do. We see a range right now. What do you think about that? I think that there's no trade available. I don't think you need to overthink what a range is. I mean, ultimately, there's liquidity built up on both sides. It's just a matter of which one takes control first, right? Or gets swept first. There's nothing here. It's this is really boring price action. It's not exciting, and it shouldn't be. You know, ultimately, like we either go here or we go here first, right? If we tap into here, is there enough orders here to push this liquidity? Or are there not enough resting orders because we're exhausted in price and we need to purge this to be able to come down and mitigate demand to go up? Well, demand is in control, but we are reacting to supply, right? Demand is in control. The second that we broke this supply zone, demand took control of the market. So demand's been in control this entire time, because supply from up here, okay, we made mitigate supply, we made a low, we've mitigated supply in this region, made a low, and supply's job right here was to make a new low. That's why we took our scale in, right? And the second that we pushed through this, demand took control of the market from here. So we are reacting to supply, but we are in control from a demand level. Can you tell me when isn't mitigate? What do you mean? It's a great experience to sit down and watch the price with no FOMO. Yeah, man, there's no need to FOMO. There's ample opportunity available every single day in the market, and yeah, just sitting here enjoying my coffee, right? Relax. Sometimes I have like YouTube playing on the other screen. If demand is in control, wouldn't you buy the market when it comes back to the current demand level? I would 100% buy it here if we didn't tap into this first, which is unmitigated supply. Because what do we know about supply levels? Well, supply can very quickly overcome demand to mitigate something lower, right? I do not look at GU. I trade EU only. Everybody have similar markups on their chart right now? And I guess the real question is, you know, would you have had these same markups without me being involved, right? I've seen many people using backgrounds. Don't your eyes hurt? I don't know what you mean. Backgrounds, my eyes hurt for what? The whole point of the session is to learn how you think. The markups will be the same over time. Exactly. This is exactly what this is for. It's not about taking the same trades. It's about understanding the process and the mindset going into it. I mean, you know, I lost like, I don't know how much exactly, but, you know, I lost 0.5% here. And like, I'm unfazed by it. And that's exactly how you should be when you're trading. This was the best part of this entire live session. In my opinion, this was the best part, was taking the loss. because how I acted around the win and how I reacted about the loss, that it doesn't change. It shouldn't change because it doesn't fucking matter, really. It's all part of it. White trading view background. I have like a, what do you call it? I have one of these fancy monitors that has like the blue light filter and stuff built into it. So my eyes don't really get too strained. Yeah, one of the things too is if you're risking 1% and you find it's really hurting you psychologically, and you'll know. I mean, you'll know right away if you're like upset after you take a loss. You're risking too much, right? You're risking too much, and it needs to be considered when you take your next trade. And the reason I say that is if 1% gives you like a gut wrenching anxiety, then very simple, just risk less. It shouldn't be an emotional roller coaster. This is a sweep. I think this is a sweep here, by the way. It looks to be a sweep, push down. Ultimately, we could take potential trade in the wick, probably on the seconds chart. Please clear your drawings if you're gonna put them on here. Thank you. Ultimately, I'm still considering, yes, there's a sweep, but I'm still considering this demand level to be broken before then I can trade from this wick. It's rangy, man. Just be fussy, be picky about what you're doing. I mean, it's your hard-earned money, or it's FTMO's hard-earned money, but it's you that's piecing together all this stuff. So don't just take trades to get into trades, man. Like if they don't make sense and you're doubting them, I mean, shit, man. It's like one of these things where you go to the clothing store and like if it doesn't look good, if you're not immediately in love with how you look in the mirror when you buy a shirt, you're never gonna wear it. So I find tougher when doing FTMO challenge. What is the sweep? It's a purge of liquidity, right? If we have equal highs and you are a retail trader, let's say this is a 4-hour chart and you waited for this to kind of happen, where's your stop loss? Your stop loss is just above here. Well, that grabs liquidity to then push down. Boring price action, guys. Very boring, very rangy. Feel free to ask questions as well. The other thing that needs to be considered here is that we've got equal highs, right? Just saw this actually. Equal highs, and we've potentially swept into unmitigated supply right at the extreme. 20 pip range from London and New York so far today. Yeah, it's pretty fucking boring price action, to be honest with you. It's not, there's not a lot to trade. If the sweep was a candle closure instead, would you have a new demand level? Well, ultimately, like the only thing that needs to happen here for me to create a demand level is this supply level right here needs to fully break. Oh, is it NFP tomorrow? I didn't even, I only look at the news the day of, but yeah, that might be it. We're accumulating, right? If you look at this, like this entire thing is just fully ranging, right? So it is what it is. Why do you want to risk 0.5 or even less in your FTMO challenge? Oh, here we go. We're on the move. All righty. if you move, but if it breaks supply liquidity to the downside. Equal highs on the 4 hour. Also, it could be looking to take that. Let's go look at the 4 hour. Yeah, equal highs right here. Could be looking to sweep that. It's very possible. And then see a break. But here's the thing, we got to be sweeping into a supply zone, right? In order for us to consider that, at least by my standards. Yeah, being very cautious of this area. Being very, very cautious. Don't, this is very tricky and can easily get caught on the wrong side of this. 20 minutes, that could cause a small reaction. News in 20 minutes. What do we got here for news? 20 minutes. Yeah, nothing substantial though, really. Farm productivity, yeah, it's all low volume news. It's a 15-minute. Yeah, we got lots of equal highs. More than likely, we're going to be breaking above. So we've broken supply. I mean, is there a trade available? I mean, technically, you could probably take this wick. Up to you, but you need to have a target, right? So if it's just like a 1 to 5, that's fine. Ultimately, we're not going to be swinging for up here, because more than likely what's going to happen is once we break above, we will pull back into some sort of POI before then swinging to the top side, right? It's possible that we just go right here, but having again a realistic expectation is going to be a lot more valuable. So let's just go over to the 5 and oh shoot, what's going on here? Let's do the 1 minute. See if the 5 has anything else here. Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of liquidity resting above this, right? They're probably going to purge it. So what caused the break? Well, what caused the break is the wick, right? Caused the break of structure, break of all of this stuff. So now we are, you know, in a very high liquidity region. Let's go over to the 5 now. Sorry, the 15, and let's figure out what we could potentially react off of, right? So if you look over here, oops. The only thing that's really going to be in the way, so we got demand. Okay, hold on. Let's go to the 5 now. We're now looking for buys, right? Well, yeah. I mean, we're also looking for a supply zone that we could trade into, right? There's a wicked area that could be supply. I'm just going over to this area. Okay. So could easily react to, oh, this is from a while ago. So this is like demand that broke structure that created this inside bar. I don't know if you guys remember this, but this is from like 3 weeks ago, and I actually had a huge breakdown on this. Interesting to see if that's so this supply. Let's go like this. Style, extend right. Okay. And let's go like this and see what's going on. Okay, what's going on here? Check 5 minute to the left. Body break at 4 hour. Yeah, there's wicked area that wicked area that could be supply. I mean, the wicks above already mitigated on the cell candles. Oh, yeah, we are already mitigated here on this. Yeah. Shit, man. Like we could easily fly right through this, but let's consider a few things here. Okay, so that's the 15. Fine. So 5 minute chart, I mean, becomes very, very clear what should be considered at this point, right? Let's look at this. This is our POI, right? There's not much that we can trade other than, you know, once this breaks, we'd like to see a pullback to this region to then go to the upside. In all fairness, I was expecting a new low to be made. Reason being is because we respected supply here. We broke structure once, twice, 3 times to the downside. So it was reasonable to consider the fact that we would be rolling over, especially with resting liquidity here. So now we wait. Let's go down to the 1. So this entire area here is what we'd be looking at. So could easily do, let's just see what the 50% of this would be. You could take the 50% and, you know, you could have a target all the way up in this and then just kind of trail your stop, right? We also have a strong change of character on the right. When it pulls back to the area, are you going to place a limit or are you going to wait for a pullback? I'm going to wait for a pullback and a change of character. Unmitigated wick on our POI. Yeah. So ultimately, like, you know, you could, I guess in theory, assume that demand is in this wick, but when you go out to the 5 minute, you know, this is a range bound kind of demand region. So with stuff like this, you know, just be a little bit fussy. Be fussy with what you're doing. I mean, if you want to take the 50%, which is what I did yesterday, and it worked out fine. But ultimately, just wait for a sweep, change of character. We're in bullish order flow, right? If we get a change of character in this zone, very simple. Then it becomes one of these things where, okay, we're certain that supply has broken, demand is taking control, target equal highs. If you'd like to, or trail your stop up to that region up there that we just talked about. And on the flip side, the bearish scenario would be we tap in, we go like this, and we roll over. Well, now we can now target this POI down in this region. Liquidity at the demand. Yeah, there's liquidity sitting here, right? There's liquidity sitting here. This is all cause for price to potentially sell off, right? So just gotta, again, just gotta be realistic here about what could potentially happen. This is no good. This is nothing. This didn't break any structure, right? This is unmitigated, yes, but you got to think of things in terms of, okay, well, what caused supply to fail? We tapped into supply, we pulled back one last time and pushed up. So this area is known as a supply to demand flip area. But because we've just barely wicked through this supply zone, I know it's already partially mitigated, but we need to consider, you know, what could potentially happen here. In the previous trade, you set a limit, just trying to figure out when you do that, or general rule to follow when you do what. Okay, so right now, technically, you know, yes, we've wicked supply. I understand that technically supply is not in control. However, I've taken one loss over here. I've taken basically break even on the day. I'm being a little bit more fussy with my criteria. So I'm waiting for something like this to be able to take the long. And that's just going to solidify my bias a little bit more to be able to understand that we still have enough room to move to the upside. On the flip side of this, if we tap in like this and then roll over, well, ultimately supply will be in control from the level that broke demand. We have resting liquidity. So it would be a lot easier to consider trades once we just let this POI get met. Or on the flip side, we break through like this. We could take something like this, 1 to 5. Okay, so basically, if you are in drawdown for the day, you wait for confirmation trades. Not necessarily. So don't get it twisted too far. But ultimately, right now, because we are technically just wicking through supply, there could be a small area of supply above this. I don't know because it's so far over to the left. But ultimately, I'm just being a little bit more cautious of this area. If we had a clean break of this supply, I would put a limit on this 50% of this block without any kind of hesitation. Very similar to what happened yesterday. So if I just go over like this, and we go, where's yesterday's price action? So something like this, where, okay, we've had a clean break of supply, which was in control from right at this level, because this is what actually broke demand. Then very simply, as soon as we push through on the 5-minute chart, you're able to see that we're not tapped into supply. We've broken a substantial amount of supply over here. Well, what caused the break? So this is a lot easier to throw a limit order on without having any kind of hesitation. Whereas something over in this region where we're basically reacting to supply right now, I would feel more confident getting into trades when we show the change of character. And we may never even see it, but we'll basically be able to take something along the leg when we break. Does that make sense, Sheldon? Okay, cool. Yeah, it's got nothing to really do with the drawdown. It just has to do also with, what's going on with price. Just being certain. I mean, it's your hard-earned money, right? Or if you're funded, it's somebody else's money. But for myself, it's my hard-earned money. So I'm just waiting for my criteria to be met so that I can actually take something. Now, in the past, you could also consider maybe taking something like this down to here. Because we are technically within a supply zone. It's a little bit of a riskier move. If I'm on a hot streak, maybe I will do this, but I am just a little bit more conservative right now. Obviously we broke this little level right here. We've come down. We haven't mitigated any demand. More than likely we'll roll over like this, and you can maybe sneak in like a 1 to 5 like that, depending on your risk management. But there's no guarantee that we won't just go through, create new demand, and then we can take trades like that, right? Excuse me. You trail your stop loss to create new created higher highs. So like, let's say we went something like this, okay? And I got into a trade for whatever reason at this level. Ultimately, as soon as we pull back, we know that demand is in control from this level. So if I move my stop loss to just under the demand level, that means that if we break through, and now create supply to target this. And, let's say we move further up like this, pull down like this. Well, that creates demand because we broke structure from here. So ultimately, we should not surpass this level. I would trail my stop here. Now, there needs to be unmitigated demand in this level, though, in order for me to trail underneath it, because if everything's mitigated, it can more than likely get ran as liquidity to go down to the next level, which in turn, I would just kind of keep my stop loss at break even. Cool. Yeah, well, trading is a very, very systematic approach, right? Has to be. It's the only way you can really succeed in the markets. In my experience, at least, you have to have rules. If you don't have rules, fuck, man, you're just asking for unnecessary losses, right? In order for you to have an edge, you need to have a set of rules to follow. Okay, a couple people with all right. So let's see what's going on here. Yeah, like I said, you could have taken maybe something like this as a quick change of character, you know, moved over to break even, just see if this rolls over. You know, I've done this in the past. I've shown you guys this in breakdowns and stuff. That like this is something you could do. Take the 50% of this, you know, risk or keep this just above the high. Let's just map it out just so that you guys could actually see it. And then if you went like this, you know, call this the 50% right around here. Stop loss just above this, 1.5 pip. And, you know, you could have played this down into the POY, you know, 1 to 5, whatever, and then just trail your stop. So these are available plays. It's counter trend, the riskier moves, move your stop loss to break even immediately. But ultimately at this point, especially with a larger audience, I'm just being a little bit more conservative today to try to show you just the right mindset to have towards how to trade these setups and stuff like that. So ultimately, you know, this is the more ideal setup, or if we break through, you can take that. There was a nice flip on the 30-second. Cool. Yeah, I don't trade seconds charts. I'm considering opening the option to use 15-second for market orders. I find myself sometimes, like let's say for whatever reason I wanted to get in here, I find that a lot of times we tap and run and I don't actually get tagged in. I shouldn't say a lot of times. Sometimes it happens. So I'd rather have a market execution on like a 15-second to be able to jump into trades and stuff like that. But anyways, I'm just kind of talking at this point. What you mean by unmitigated? So basically, like there is a demand zone. You got on that demand candle, got mitigated by forward candle, so it's mitigated. Yeah, exactly. I mean, so before, so when this is like this, okay, and we've had a minor break of structure right here, okay, this is unmitigated supply. So the second we tap into it and then break structure, it's now been mitigated. Hopefully that's clear. What if price break the first demand? You would look for shorts to the second. Exactly. I mean, you also have to consider liquidity here. Okay, so like let's say we broke this demand right here. This is not really going to be a demand zone, but let's say we broke demand here and then we kind of like retrace back up to this area where there's unmitigated supply. I would take this trade and I would target now probably a 5-minute POY, because this would be counter trend because we've broken structure. Now we're expecting a pullback, right? So your criteria. Personally, my favorite trades are always going to be supply to demand flips, demand to supply flips. That's what I'm most comfortable trading. They are very quick in and out trades because typically there's liquidity on the side of the market that you're looking to target. Yeah, so equal lows, sweep, possibly come back up, mitigate supply, roll over, create new supply to then target this level, right? Do you look at the momentum of price when coming into your POI? Sometimes. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, ultimately, you got to remember that like if demand's in control from this level right here, it has one job. It has to take out this supply level. So here we go. Right now, technically, as long as your risk was managed, you could easily take a trade like this if we didn't tap into this first, right? Take this down into here. And like I said, you could have probably taken this, like we talked about, because this broke this structure. On a lower time frame, this is going to be a structure point, right? Here we go, in demand. So if you had an order here, you would have to take it off now because demand is in control of the market or reacting to demand. So we would need to see this break before taking supply trades. Okay, so 5 minute. Yeah, so let's go like this. Oops. Yeah, it's this whole range. I mean, that's your next POI. That's where you'd be selling into, right? And then reevaluating because like I said, we do this, create this, and then like this, and then sweep like this. Well, then it's easy to then target this high because that means that this low would be protected. And look at, we have so much liquidity sitting under here, right? More than likely, it's going to be barely a reaction because there's no unmitigated stuff in this zone, right? There's really no resting orders. But you got to see it break first. So if we just have a pause right here and then we go like this, well, ultimately this is what broke it. And that would be signified by the 5 minute supply right here. Cool. What if price breaks demand, dealer for momentum? Could you repeat the last thing you said? Oh shit, Sheldon, I don't know. In terms of if you took the sell, would you remove the limit order because it touched them? Yes, exactly. So look at when price is sitting, where's my replay tool? When price is sitting like this, okay? There's a supply level sitting right here. Okay, so you could technically put a limit on right here. Now, with my rules, I would need to target unmitigated demand levels, right? So because this is an unmitigated 5 minute demand level, my first target would have to be here. So my risk reward is not going to be great enough for me to actually take this trade. But in theory, all of the things other than the risk are in order. We've checked all the boxes for entry criteria. We've broken structure. We've got a very, very clear order block. We've pushed back up and then we could go back down into here. Now, what I'm looking for at this level is now a reaction that would not break, push down, create supply. Hopefully that clears things up, Sheldon. We broke. We have broken. Yeah. Cool. So we've now swept into this area right here. So this is where things get a little dicey, right? Got resting liquidity sitting underneath, right? We're just depleting demand orders, right? Whatever was left in that wick, we're depleting it. And if we roll over, that's where we're going to take trades from. Because right now to get into a demand trade, we need to break this supply first, right? To be able to take this, run the high. I don't really consider this a demand level, to be honest. Let's go to the file and see what it looks like. Yeah, no, this is not really a demand level. where we broke structure from, this structure point is right here. So I would look at this as the decisional that broke the top structure, but this is the origin of the move. So I don't think anything else really needs to be marked at this point. So what I'd be looking to do is probably take shorts from here still. I don't think I would have an issue with doing that. And if you are unsure, very simple, mark this as a POI and wait for a quick wick break of demand to be able to then take shorts. So even though price wicked down into the level, we count this as a break. This is subjective, man. Personally, like I don't have an order up here right this second. But if we're talking about it technically, you know, there is unmitigated demand in this wick. And that's proven by the inefficiency that's here. There is on a lower time frame, I'm sure, a very clear order block that sits here. So I would not be putting limit orders on anything right now. This could be an H1 sweep of the triple bottom. Is it the 1-5-15 you play along with the most of days? Yes, 100%. Why did you take shorts from the 1 minute? Why not take shorts off the higher 1 minute POI? Can you just mark it out so that I can see? Or not? The one right above my entry. I don't have an entry here. There's no entry on the chart right now. Just if you can annotate it so that I can see what you're talking about. You're talking about why am I not putting a limit order on this? Because technically there's a demand level that we're reacting for. There's a 4 minute order block where you're looking to sell a 4 minute order block. I don't use the 4 minute chart. I think if you're not using one chart, personally, if you're not using one chart to decipher your entry criteria and you're looking for the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 7, the 6, you're fishing for reasons to get into trades. This is not an order block. This has already been tapped in by this. This is already wicked above. The only block that would be considered would be this big black candle. I used to have 1, 2, 3, 4 minute just to find the right order block. Yeah, because you're fishing for it, right? It's a pretty normal thing for people to do it. Personally, it doesn't work for me. I find I'm just fishing for trades and allows me to be too flexible with criteria. I don't like it at all, to be honest. Two-minute order block is more clear. That's great. I don't use 2 minutes, so 1 and 5, that's all I need. Why look for sells when we are bullish even after the tap of supply? Well, here's the thing. If we broke a demand level, right? We literally broke a decisional area of demand right here. What is demand's job at this level? Demand's job here is to take out this high. If it doesn't do that, then we can easily come back up to here and then roll down into the original demand that took out structure, right? Because we've broken structure, we've broken supply. What do we do after we break structure? Well, we pull back. So why can't we play the pullback? Do you start analyzing by 15-minute itself? Yes. I mean, that's usually where I start my analysis. I still look at the 4 hour just to understand where we are in terms of the higher time frame, but it doesn't really hold a whole lot of value for intraday trading. If you were swing trading and stuff like that, and you're holding trades overnight, you got in at like a really good price on the first change of character, sure. Consider these things, but personally, all of my stuff gets moved to break even or into profit at like 10:45. So the session was invaluable. 3 pages of notes so far. Oh, awesome, dude. Awesome. I feel like it was a boring session in terms of trades. We had a couple decent ones at the beginning. One loss, which was awesome because it shows you what we did wrong, right? Collectively. But somebody actually caught it, and that's sweet because I didn't catch it, that we were in a 30-minute demand zone. And the reason I didn't catch that, very simple. I don't use a 30-minute, right? I use the 15, the 5, and the 1. So I was expecting this to come into here. So, and that was a reasonable expectation considering the timeframes that I use. So should we do this one more time next week? Yes or no? Oh my God. Cool. Every day. It's not going to happen every day, man, unless you guys want to pay $20 a day, which is, you know, obviously expensive for you guys. If you're live trading and following along though, I mean, I think it's worth it, but I don't want to get it twisted that I'm some sort of signals provider either. I want to show you like how, like the nitty gritty of it, like, you know, like what's available to trade. What are we actually taking trades on? So I just don't want to, not that I really care about anybody's opinion, to be completely fair. I just don't want it to get twisted. Live is always best. Cool. So I guess like this might be what I do from now on. I might just do a live session once a week. This is so much more valuable than Sunday sessions. Live market is the real shit. Yeah, it's just boring. That's the only part I don't like, is like it's a little bit more boring. It's a little bit less structured in terms of like really deciphering what was going on in hindsight. But man, you guys are the ones paying. Like if this is more valuable to you, I would much rather do that. Could dance while I wait. Yeah, for sure. That'd be something. And this thing's so much more valuable than Sundays. Trading with a group is so much better psychologically. You look like a broke demand. Would you now set a sell limit? I would not yet. Reason being is like technically there was a little bit of demand left in this wick. The reason I would consider this demand level as a potential valid area is because we had inefficiency here, right? So just being wary of that area, that's all. 100% better. I think you underestimate the knowledge you are sharing. Well, yeah, maybe I do. And I feel like almost guilty to a certain degree because there's not like, I feel like there needs to be more trades taken for this to be valuable. And maybe that's just a psychological barrier that I need to, you know, come to terms with. I feel like I need to be showing you more trades, but I guess it's all about the process too, which is, I mean, really the whole reason why I'm doing this is to show you the process, right? Being able to mark up the charts live while you do helps a lot. You still in Phantom community? I am not in the Phantom community, but I've been talking very closely with one of the founders about doing something. So I don't want to share too much, but there might be something coming in the next few months. Your bold head, I smile. You learn more when you lose. 100%. The process is important to see for sure. Do this more often, 3 times a week. I mean, I can't do it 3 times a week, man. It's just a lot to do. You're going to be a coach there. We'll see. See what happens. Yeah, once a week is more than enough, I think. It's going to be spontaneous when I do it. Reason being is, well, yeah, it's just like that's what it's going to be. There has to be some sort of demand that's going to be involved with a low supply, the supply being the time factor. So I will always release it the night before whenever I'm doing it. And yeah, $20 is kind of going to be the realm that I'm going to play in. It's going to be available to watch in hindsight, of course, with recordings, I think, is what I'll do. But ultimately, the knowledge happens in that moment. Like it's about being here on time and stuff. And hey, here's the thing: anybody who's here right now, I want to say one thing, and I'm going to be very, very strict on this. I'm going to be opening these at 7:45 in the morning instead of 8, 15 minutes prior. If you're not in by 8, I'm not admitting you in. That's what it's going to be. So I'm punctual. I've been nothing but punctual for the entire community. And I expect a little bit of respect on that front. So I hope that's reasonable. If you're late, just don't show up. You can wait for the recording because you're distracting. You're distracting others. You're distracting me from actually providing my analysis in real time because I have to constantly admit people. So show up 7:45, 15 minutes prior to the session. You'll have till 8 o'clock. Anybody after that, you're just not going to get admitted. You'll have to wait. Take this serious. I take it very seriously. I don't need to be doing this. I don't need, the $2,000 US that I make from doing, like, dude, it doesn't benefit my life in terms of the money. In all fairness, we make lots of money doing this. So it's about trying to help people. And if you guys want the help, just show up on time. It would be greatly appreciated. Too easy to be punctual for something you pay for. Well, you would think so. To be honest, I was in Phantom and I like to watch you alone. Phantom was too cluttered. Yeah. Anyways, I don't want to go off too much on Phantom. Phantom, they're the goats, man. They're fantastic. Their course is amazing. What I did find difficult while I was a member was all of the different styles within Phantom with the coaches. This is really, it's very beneficial because this is how you develop, what strategy you'd like to adopt. So it has its pros, but the cons are that, one guy trades one way, one guy trades another way. And if you feel like you have to resonate with every single webinar, you can kind of get caught in the noise. And I think every community is like that, right? Where you can very easily get caught in all of the noise of the different mentors. So. Pretty boring price action right now. But if there is a silver lining with the boring price action and not being able to get into trades, again, the silver lining is have strict criteria, right? This is what it's all about, is having criteria that is like, how many of you 6 months ago would FOMO into some kind of trade here or FOMO into some kind of whatever? Sit here and wait. This is what I do. Like, I am literally sitting here. I'm talking to you guys. If I'm not talking to you guys, I'm literally talking to myself while I'm trading, believe it or not. Because yeah, it's boring, man. It's long. Before learning your content, can you please tomorrow live session during NFP? I probably won't be trading NFP, to be honest. It's the long weekend as well. I have Labor Day weekend. It's a holiday, bank holiday on Monday. I plan on probably getting pretty shit-faced tomorrow, to be honest, and eating a bunch of good food, drinking a bunch of good craft beer, and just not worrying about the charts. So we trade for freedom, man. That's the bottom line. It's pay yourself, give yourself the time to enjoy everything that you're doing, how far you've come, because without any of that, none of this really matters. Not celebrating anything specifically, just celebrating, finally doing it, and yeah, just being the trader, right? Being what it is to be a trader. Yeah, it's a POI, but ultimately, like, I need this to break. I need this to break. Why? Because, well, very simple. We're still operating within a demand zone, because now if we break above like this, now we create this, which now creates this, right? So we wait. Personally, I get more confusion from not offending anyone before following you, so thank you. Awesome. You help tie everything together. Celebrating anything is far more important to learn how to trade using trading rules and patience. Yeah, man, that's like, this is what it's all about. Love the green screen. I forgot that I had it. Yeah, the fractal markets behind me. Do you have an Instagram? Yeah, fractal markets at fractal markets. Highest RR I've caught on a single trade, probably close to 30, probably just over 30 actually, a couple months ago. I don't hold trades that long anymore. I usually just target unmitigated 1 minute stuff or 5 minute stuff and then wait for reactions. You know, like let's say I got into a long from here for whatever reason, I would just target this. Even though we might break the high, more than likely we're going to produce a reaction, which will then give me more entry criteria. So I'm just fussy. I'm just, been doing this long enough that like, I just have a lot of really, really strict rules to, basically get in and out of trades. So look at, here's unmitigated supply, but here's the thing. We are still reacting to demand. So this is probably going to be a really good example. We might break above here, right? So that's supply. See? Why? Because we're tapping back into demand, right? So you might have got wicked out of this, depending on where your stop loss is, right? You go through magic key settings, not today, but later. Yeah, I will. All kinds of stuff to come, right? All kinds of fun stuff to come. Just all in due time. Somebody was asking about a Discord community. Honestly, you know what the problem with the Discord community is every single day I have to be tending to people who don't really know what they're doing, and tending to people. That's not what I want to do. I want to be able to teach people that want to show up on time. They want to be structured. They want to go through. I don't want coaches. Getting coaches means that now I'm going to do the same thing as every other mentorship and start to, water down what it is that Fractal Markets is as a brand, which is supply and demand flips, very specific entry criteria. You know what I mean? Like it's all of these things together that make up what this is. Yeah, MentaFX runs on his own. I admire that. You look Phantom, many advanced students helping the group. Man, it's not mine, then it's not exactly what it is that Fractal Markets is. Fractal Markets right now, the whole reason why you guys are all here is because you love exactly what it is I'm doing, what Fractal Markets is as a brand, right? So if I start to bring other people in, it becomes, now I have to do quality control. The only way to do quality control is to manage your own stuff. It's a more personal experience. Exactly. It's not for everyone, but it's a more personal experience. Okay, here we go. Listen for president, those selling PDFs. Do what makes you happy. Exactly. Okay, so let's look at 5, see what's going on here. Somebody just coming in right now. Holy, they just missed the whole session. Okay. Does anybody have entry criteria here that they like? We broke supply. Ultimately, no, we didn't break supply yet. Here's the thing. This low did not go lower than this. So this is not supply. We operate within this entire range right now. This is still supply. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? This high right here, okay? Like this is not supply. And the reason this is not supply is because we would have needed to break this low for this to become supply. Oh, fuck. There I go again. Not sure, is it fair to say that the general rule of thumb is if you are in demand zone, the role that demand is to take out unmitigated supply, vice versa? 100%. I joined your Telegram group because Phantom reposts you and I see the chart. And day to me, and this guy trade very similar to you. This could be a game changer. Cool. Awesome. Let's go like this. Let's go like this. Well, here's the thing is we've broken demand levels, right? You got to remember that we've also broken demand levels. So we got to consider, you know, what's possible here. So ultimately what I'm looking for, my bullish and bearish scenario is based off of this. Okay, we tap in, we break a demand level. I'm taking sells to take out equal lows. Okay, if we tap into this, push, and then break through, I'm taking demand levels to take out equal highs. Okay, not making it any more complicated than that. So ultimately, the level to break, make or break at this point is this level right here. Does everybody understand that? Cool. Awesome. Does breaking through the lower time frame level supply and demand show signs of strength moving? Well, I mean, ultimately you could take this trade. Yeah, there's no reason you couldn't. Yeah, why not? Should we take it? The only thing I don't like is like we're still reacting to higher time frame supply that took out demand levels. So there's, yeah, exactly. I don't personally like this. I need more proof. I'm being fussy. As you guys know, my entry criteria is my criteria. What I want to see is demand or supply to demand flip, or tap in, break of structure, take this, and away we go, right? Now, if we just break down like this and break this demand level, now I have supply to trade from. Cool. See what this looks like on the 5. Yeah, I don't know. We broke this demand level pretty heavily. I'm expecting to come up to here and then fuck off, right? That's all. 30 minutes till 11 a.m. So you typically want enter trades right now. I'm going to stick around. Depends. I mean, if my criteria gets met here, I'll take this and just move to break even almost immediately and let it just kind of run. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, I'm not taking too many trades after like 10:30. So choice is yours, whether or not you'd like to, but personally, my time is more valuable. You find these levels less SD relatively new, but I feel like I'm grasping everything except the supply and demand flip. Okay, so look at supply controls the market from this level. Okay, the reason it controls the market from this level is because we broke this demand level from this level, right? So an SD, a supply to demand flip would basically be we tap into here. Right now we have demand here. So if we go like this and we break through like that, that means that we've now created supply into demand, which creates a breakup structure. That's how I view them. I see a few other people that tag me almost on the daily that have supply and demand flips. Like they think supply like this, they take a demand like this, and that's a supply to demand flip. That's not what it is. Supply to demand flip in my books is when supply turns into a demand level, but does not breach this level. We're not putting limit orders on this level because supply could take control and break this, causing a change of character, right? Boom, like this, or boom, take out the low, and then like this. Tons of liquidity sitting underneath here to come down to this level, right? You got to remember where we are too, guys. In terms of, the 5 minute, we've broken major level of demand. We've broken through. We're expecting to see a pullback probably to the POI to then go higher, right? Don't get lost on the 1 minute. Understand the whole narrative, right? Because when you get to supply zone, it should take out demand. Otherwise, we don't flip. Exactly. Exactly. What's supply's number one job? In order for supply to take control of the market, it first needs to take out demand, right? So if we take out this demand level, we don't care about this. This doesn't matter because ultimately this level needs to hold for us to go higher, okay? And if it doesn't, and we come down like this, I'm taking a trade, okay? Because we have too much resting liquidity sitting here for long trades to hold from this level, in my opinion. So here we go. Demand, I know it's been wicked into, but we'll just call this entire area a demand level. Because what we're really wanting to see is a break of this structure point, okay? Now, personally, I can't take a demand trade. Even if we break through, I couldn't take a demand trade here because we are reacting to supply that broke demand. Okay, we're depleting demand orders. That's what this wick is doing right now. We are sucking up all of the demand that is sitting here, producing a reaction so that we can then run as liquidity, right? Because what do we know about mitigated order blocks? They are liquidity, right? And you can see the choppiness in the price, the up and down that's happening here. We're depleting orders because demand's only job is to take out supply. And if we can't take out supply, then we create new supply. On the flip side, if we push up like this, now we have new demand. Yeah, man, 100%. Mitigated order blocks are liquidity. Why are they liquidity? Because there's no resting orders in them. There's nothing for price to hold at these levels, right? Game changer. Look at it. We've got in this POI, okay? Yes, we have a 5 minute POI, but if you think of this, there's mitigation here, there's mitigation here, there's mitigation here, there's mitigation here. So it's no shit that we were going to fall through this because even though it shows a 5 minute POI, on the 1 minute, it shows us that everything's mitigated. So there's no resting orders sitting in mitigated order blocks. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't know if I'm explaining that right, but makes sense in my head. Cool. Awesome. Still in supply. We could run this high and then still melt over. Building the narrative is where the money is, big time. Okay, so look at, we are still in supply. A lot of people would put orders right now. Don't do it. Don't do it, because we could easily now break this demand level and break down. Okay, look at, we're still in supply. We've broken, we've wicked supply. Okay, now we've broken. So guess what? Where's our order? Could you put an order here? Of course you could, right? Personally, I would be doing the wick And I would probably even do the 50% of the wick, to be honest. 1.5. Probably just do a 1 to 5. Is Phantom FX the course you would recommend if I wanted to get additional clarity on how to trade? I've seen supply and demand trading, but never like this before. And I've seen a lot of different courses. Phantom is the only course I would recommend. No, this is not really, this is supply right here. This is not supply anymore. We're aligned with bullish order flow now. We've had our pullback. Yeah, man, that's I mean, really at this point though, we could actually swing for up in this region, because that's the only thing holding us, right? Let's see what the 5-minute looks like. Yeah, we're good. We're good. We can keep that order there. Shouldn't be a problem at all. This here will not hold if this didn't. You know what I mean? Like this is what needed to hold. Especially because we're aligned with bullish order flow. Let's go to 5 and just see. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we're good, man. We're golden. Everybody understand what a supply to demand flip is now? So supply could not take out this demand level, produced a break, and then created the demand. Loads of liquidity. We're going to fly. More than likely, we're going to fly to this level because there's nothing standing in our way. Oh, fucking hell. Excuse me. Will you wait for the market to arrive at this zone? Well, I mean, I'm not, I'm shutting this down in 20 minutes, no matter what. I'll probably shut it down in a few minutes, to be honest. Need to go take a shower, got to go walk the dog. I'll probably jump on Instagram live, talk about a few of the setups, all that fun stuff. So while I have everybody here, I mean, you know what? You guys are the ones that are actually hungry enough to do this, I think. Everybody that's within, you know, this New York live session right now. I am going to take this opportunity, of course, to market the masterclass to you so that you understand what it's all about. So if you're on the fence about it, totally cool. I'm not going to push the envelope. I'm not going to be DMing you or anything like that. If you want additional information after this, you know where to find me. Happy to talk about what's to come. Essentially, you got about, I think I'm around 26 pages right now and still going with my trading plan PDF that's going to be given out to every single one of the masterclass students. It's going to happen probably on Monday. It'll be going out to the guys in September, maybe Tuesday, depending how hungover I am on Monday, of course. And yeah, you're going to be able to have a, let me just show you what's going on here. I've got all of the Telegram groups for September 12th, 11th, and 10th, where everybody's going to be added. So you'll have your own community to basically talk back and forth, share charts for the whole 6 weeks. You're also going to get an additional live trading session with me where we can copy trades or at least do exactly what we're doing right now. And what else? Yeah, we're just going to have access to be able to talk back and forth with me daily with your markups, understand what it is. You're going to get more in-depth breakdowns every single day as well as to why I took the trades I did, losing, winning, break evens, all that fun stuff. And yeah, so I wanted to mention that to everybody here because you guys are honestly the ones that are taking the chance to even come and do the live New York session, and you're ultimately the ones that are after it. So if you're interested, man, a couple spots left in November. I think there's 3 spots. You know, don't sleep. I don't care if you do or don't. They're going to get filled no matter what. Whether it takes the week before, whether it's today after this, I'll tell you right now, they're going to get filled. So if you're considering it, you know, the wait is over, man. Don't kid yourself. Like if you want to be funded around Christmas time, or if you want to actually potentially be a full-time trader by end of year, this is the opportunity. Do what you want. Makes no difference to me. I'm already doing it. This is literally my life. So do whatever you guys want to do. I just want to make sure that everybody knows that it is available. It's very limited right now. Like I said, I think here, I'll just go over to Calendly and I'll tell you exactly how many spots are left. My account, let's go to Fractal Markets, Masterclass. There's 1 spot. You know, get after it. I don't know, I don't know what people are waiting for. I don't know how much proof you need for me to be transparent. Anyways, to each their own. I've signed up and paid for everything you've ever done. Oh, I love it. I shouldn't apologize for this, but I feel terribly that I'm offering so many products and people are purchasing them, but like I got to put some sort of denomination, dollar denomination on my time. And yeah, man, this is what it's worth to me. It's still too cheap, but this is what it's worth to me. So thank you for the ongoing support. It's crazy, man. Never thought this was going to happen. Never thought something this simple, the way that I approach the market, would ever be monetized other than the way that I just trade and make money that way. But this is, I mean, man, it's crazy. It's really, really crazy. It's really cool to see. I think I have to all been great investment, pass my stage 2 verification 100K account today. Hey, awesome. Steve, and guys, if you've passed FTMO because of the content that I've helped with or whatever, shoot me a DM today because I'd like to talk to you about a few different things. One of them is I'd like to do weekly Instagram lives where we can just kind of shoot the shit back and forth, talk about the process, show people that it's available to do, that it's easily attainable. So if you guys are interested and you're okay with talking back and forth in front of the public and stuff, I would love to kind of interview you throughout the process of, you know, what it took to become that, how it is that I've helped, who else has helped you. This is a platform for everybody, and that's what I'm trying to do. Thank you for everything. It does a lot. You put a limit order because New York session ends soon. I don't have a limit right now. I was just putting this as a markup. Like I'm done trading. Ultimately now I'm just kind of shooting the shit with everybody. So I will take this limit order off. I just want everybody to see the process. You know, just full transparency. Like there's nothing I can do here that isn't transparent. And that's the whole reason I did this. You know, I still have the people that, you know, why don't you post MetaTrader 4? Why don't you do this? Why don't you because I don't really care about your opinion, to be honest with you. I don't ask you what's in your bank account. That's it. I don't really care.
No, ya fue, boludo. Ya murió el...
Oh, good God. Come on, man. Read the room. Would you take the limit order because all the supply has been? Yes, if this was like the beginning. So Sheldon, if this was the beginning of the session, my limit order would still be here. And the reason why is because this limit order, oh no, it doesn't really correlate with the 5. But ultimately, this is what caused supply to break, right? So this is where supply tapped in, broke through, and I would put a limit. if this was the beginning of the session. Now, if we go up like this, we pull back and do something like this, well, now demand is technically in control from here because we've broken structure from this area. Why did you take limit order off? Well, because it's the end of the session. I'm done trading in like 10 minutes. Do you trade New York morning just because that's your time? Yeah, I just trade New York because honestly, like that's the time that works for me. I'm not up at 3 in the morning to trade London. I don't really care to do that. But ultimately New York lines up with I fit trading into my lifestyle. I don't revolve my life around trading, if that makes sense. First priority of the day is get my ass out of bed and go to the gym, and then come back, have a coffee, jump on the charts. That's how it works out for me. I incorporate trading into my lifestyle that I already have. Obviously, this is a little bit privileged because it just works out with where I live in the world. But so the strategy is not specific. I can trade my morning. Yeah, exactly. What do I do after trading? Well, right now I've been working on masterclass stuff for the past few weeks. But typically I do whatever I want. If I want to go out and pull weeds in the garden, I go do that. If I want to go for breakfast with friends or family or my girlfriend, whatever, I go do that. If I want to go cook lunch in the house and make pasta sauce from scratch, I go do that. It's the beauty. It's like there's nothing specific I do, but I do what I want. That's the beauty of this, is being able to accommodate whatever the hell it is you want to do, not have any other obligations. Also have one-on-ones and stuff like that. They've cooled down now because yeah, I've allowed them to cool down. I've raised the price because I didn't want to do as many of them. So yeah, you know what I'm going to do actually? Who's out here? We've got a bunch of people. Okay, give me a second here. Let's go to everyone in the meeting. Okay. So I have just because, why the hell not, right? Where are we? What is this? There you go. Enjoy, guys. Here's a trading plan cheat sheet for everybody who attended today. I appreciate all of you guys. Go ahead and download that. It's a little 2-pager to give you a little reference. Appreciate all the support. So tell your friends. So just download that. That's for everybody who's attended. Yeah, man. Thank you for continuing to support day in, day out. Like I said, it's not everything you need to know, but it's a really good start. It's a really, really good start. Any chances they're going to do it in November? So yes, I'm going to be. I'll more than likely host another masterclass in November. Can you show the colors? My sound went out. What are we downloading? So let's go like this. It's the trading plan PDF. Well, here's the thing. I can't tell you all the criteria for what it is to do in these circumstances. That's what people are paying me thousands of dollars to learn. I feel like I'm giving out more than enough for a $20 session. So, okay, so give me a second. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this live with you guys right now. I'll go to Calendly, and I'm going to go back over to this like this. And I will email it to every single one of you guys. Let's go over to my account, scheduled events. So pending, past. Okay, details. So I have, oh, sick, 100 people signed up. That's cool. export. So what I'll do is I'll do this now. And okay, so here's everybody who was in this today. So I will copy every single person. And I will go over to my email so that you guys can see that this is all happening. Compose. I will do this to every single person. Subject. Trading plan cheat sheet. Okay, attach. Go to desktop. Let's go like this, 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 and there we go. Upload. Okay, check your emails. There you go, guys. Enjoy. Oh shit, my bad. BCC. I already did it. My bad. Oh, my bad, guys. I make mistakes too. My bad. Sorry. I'm not an office guy. I was a tradesman before this. I'm not very smart with all that stuff. Be good human beings and don't do stupid shit and email everybody. My bad. Received. It's fine. Okay. Yeah. So trading view colors. I'll do those really quickly. Will you combine the Telegram groups on the 30-person after the masterclass is over? That is the intention. I will be doing something of that nature so that you guys can interact with each other after the fact. If you bought the masterclass for November, is there a possibility to take it in September? No. Unfortunately, I am absolutely full. I think there's 33 or 34 people for September. I'm already over the limit because I promised people and I don't want to go back on my word, but ultimately there's nothing that's going to be available for September. So yeah, anyways, that's sent out to you guys. So my trading view colors are like this. Body, third gray. So take a screenshot, okay, of this. Take a screenshot and be able to take this. And then go over to this. This is just 100% black for this body. The borders are 100% black. The wicks are gray. So just take a screenshot of this entire thing. Here, Command Shift 4. Okay, and then what I'll do is I'll just take this. Oops. I'll paste this over into the Telegram group so that you guys can have it. Listen, I'm letting everybody go. It's a couple minutes to 11. I'm gonna go eat some breakfast finally. Didn't get to eat because I was rushing over to do all this. I'll post them all in the Telegram, guys. I'll post the colors for demand and supply, and you guys can check all that out over there. So thank you guys. Hopefully this was helpful. Wish we could have got into a couple more trades, but it is what it is, right? Yeah, November is going to get Telegram as well. So thank you guys for being a part of this. Appreciate all you guys. We will look forward to possibly doing this next week, maybe the week after. I'm in no real rush to do the next one. I've got lots of stuff I need to be focusing on, so we'll see what happens. It'll be a surprise. I'll always let you know the day before, and you can see everything gets sold out very quickly. So don't sleep on the opportunity. Just jump on it ASAP. Not for me, do it for you, right? Okay, well, deuces. Have a good day, everybody. Hear what in the chart. Thank you for the support again, and we'll talk soon. I'll let you all go, and I will be emailing out the links with BCC, promise, to the private YouTube channel. So you guys will have to let me know how all that works out. Just a quick question with that last break of structure. Would you now trade off the new recent demand? Probably not. I would probably be trading down in this region still. Reason being is like ultimately this is what caused supply to break, right? This is what caused the break of structure. So this didn't break any substantial structure. You could potentially take a small like 1 to 5 like this, but ultimately, if we have a higher time frame target of up here, more than likely we're going to come sweep liquidity, tap into the demand at the origin, and then come back up. Cool. BCC, yeah. Sorry, Neil. My bad, bro. I'm a dummy. I do dumb shit all the time. Okay. What's up? Thank you guys. We'll catch you guys soon.